have a legal help, and there is a mechanism to have this help. After or going directly and asking for how to proceed about the matter. I think my 5 minutes are over. No, not yet. So this is the mechanism the state is providing, and how you can go for any kind of. And please remember the compensation scheme, which is for every victim, every victim who is a result of a crime. Every case which is a result of a crime is entitled to compensation. And compensation varies from 50,000 to lakhs. So if you find a case, please recommend it to a legal service authority of that area. And if anyone wants to go to High Court to file a writ petition, which is a very expensive thing, please do that. Then there is a separate legal aid. You can go directly to Delhi High Court or any High Court throughout India. Supreme Court also has a very strong and good advocates in their legal committee, free legal committee, to file a PIL or a SLP appeal or writ petition. You can go to Delhi High Court committee also to file a PIL, but the secretary over there, what research work you have done. One example we have on behalf of Mark, we were working on leprosy. So we never were engaging a lawyer and going ahead. We wrote a letter to Delhi High Court committee. That matter was taken care by the president. Secretary wrote him. Then this whole action was taken by and they have taken care of it, and the result was good. Because then direct government was not there. It was there, then it was between the judges themselves. We got the result also.
Please go ahead with the word. Because here it starts everything. And you also said liberty means responsibility. That is another important point. So, but when you say education, I want it is education of because committing crimes. So, education from the mental about even the agrarian what we call shares. Quranic shares are also there. So many families into those nations General Assembly that is known as 103 mechanism, and this provides an opportunity to lodge individual complaints. All the international provisions to lodge individual capacity if the efforts result. So in such situations, alternatives are available. So education is a very vast area. It includes everything, and we should stick to the sensitization. We should sensitize even all the organizations, whether it is the police establishments, army establishments, diplomacy, everywhere sensitization programs is being undertaken. Special orientation programs are organized by the stakeholders, by the ministries. Even for teachers like me, we are some the refresher.
My hair rebonding is one of the most expensive bills in entire African continent, and also the black community in Europe and the US. And Indian hair is one of the most costliest sells as the most costliest wig in the world. It's Indian black silk hair. So when I was there, I was in a village actually, and I was at one of the survivors' house. And after that, I was in the store at the village, and I was talking to 8 girls who were doing reading and who were just sitting around. And they all came gathered around me and I was just taking photographs with them. They wanted to take selfies with me. And suddenly this girl came behind and she started touching my neck. And she realized this was real. So she called out everyone and she said, "Look, it's real hair. This is not a wig or this is bonding." And there were girls and boys who were touching my hair to see whether it was real hair or not. So sometimes if not be racism, it may be curiosity. I'm not saying that there was no racism, but I'm just sharing my experience. And my question to this Singh, you spoke about compensation and any kind of crime. So when Ms. Narrated about the incident being groped when she was walking on the street. Now, to rape or anything that is medical, sometimes on the street, and how do you give evidence? How do you it happened to you, the crime? And in this scenario, just giving this example, will you be given compensation?
You know, the thing comes, essential. Layman is not aware.
Question, experience and question. I have recently shifted my base from Guwahati to Delhi. This is my 5th day in Delhi. This way they showered all their loves and blessings and prasads, heals, except all items. But they came from a land which is called land of Sankar and Adam, Baba Hazarika and Rasid Hazarika. And today I am here because I have never faced such type of question. Then one lady who is master degree holder in history, she told me that don't take decisions from your Muslim friends because I'm very fond of it because it has not been banned in because we many of my Muslims. Then she told then she told me then I told her मेरी नाम तो नीलिमा तालुकदार है गाय भैंस नहीं है ना मेरी कोई भैंस मेरी मौसी है तो उससे बोली नहीं तो then she told me आप कैसे लड़की हो संस्कारी नहीं हो आपके माँ ने आपको फिर बड़ा किया है एक गाय की माँ होती है इलेक्ट्रिशियन की डब्बे से भी बहुत से बोली वन ऑफ संस्कारी है ना blah 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 then this is my then this is and my I have then this is my question क्या दिल्ली ऐसी है because it is my 6th day in Delhi only.
Can I answer that? Yes. Because I was born brought up in Delhi. That's the reason I'm answering it. You know, it's the cultural thing. I'm not defending. Delhi is basically was a belt of certain non-Indians who were Vaishnavi bhaktas. There are 2 bhaktas. Kali. Whether I should at this full say that.
No.
So, because I also share the same view which you have.
For me.
This thought you will come across part of Haryana, West UP, and some part of Delhi. That you is very.
And no, my Hindu friends also know that I think but they never ask me any question.
My submission is, with your permission, ma'am, my submission is we should be very sensitive because if we believe in multiculturalism and cosmopolitan character of humanity in our part of the world, then we should be very sensitive. It's a very, very sensitive. Demands a lot of, sedateness, lot of seriousness, and very profoundly we should deal with these kinds of, if this is a cultural issue, though in India, we are having Goa, we are having Northeast, we are having South India, where this issue is not an issue. Rather, in our part of the area of India, in this particular portion that is North India, it's a very politically very sensitive issue. So we should be very careful. Not only it's a cultural issue, but a religious one. It is already gained some kind of a religious ramifications. So we should be very sensitive to the sentiments of the people, and it's attaining a religious content. So therefore, whenever we are talking of eating habits, then definitely we should not and particularly I am also being a Muslim. Even there happens to be a book which is known as the Tibb Nabwi. If you translate it into English, it is the tips of or medicinal value of some kind of food items. So this has been ordained by the Prophet Muhammad himself, peace be upon him. So he was of the view that he has prohibited even the beef eating because there are it is not medically fit to eat what he call, beef. So certain important, animals have been, prescribed. So it is a, political allegation, and politically motivated atmosphere is created when it's, killing is attributed or cows killing is attributed. Though there are, sheep are Muslims as well. One should, I should introspect myself also. Even the Muslims to a great extent are responsible of creating this kind of a, situation in certain pockets. I am not generalizing. I am not at all generalizing. So we should avoid.
I think we're in a strange situation in our country. It's become the politics of food. See, as a beef eater, and pork is my favorite meat, one who's not vegetarian, I mean, that's another issue. The thing is, we have a Supreme Court which said very recently, about 7-9 judges, they said privacy, things that we eat is not the business of the government, and we should. So there is allegations. And then there's this huge gap. Because I've lived 7.5 years in Delhi, I've survived. My neighbors are lovely, they're pure vegetarian, and they don't mind the fact that I eat fish and some kinds of meat, and they put them. There are all kinds of people in Delhi, some are really, really nice. I think we need to, there are, in a conference, especially on diversity, I'm fully respectful about the sentiments, but I think we should be mindful that there are so very many sentiments, and the rule of law should prevail. And I'm towards that, and everyone has feelings, and why should my feelings not count as a...
One last question.
One last question.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yadunandan Sharma. I'm a corporate by profession, and I'm a writer also, and interested to be in politics sometime around. So it makes sense to obviously attend this. I mean, understanding the perspective. So Dr. Nafis Ahmed, sorry, he elaborated on the fact of racial discrimination. And there are 3 points, sir, which you raised. Like, you said education is the root, policy comes next. Implementation remains with bureaucracy. So when I heard this, I just wanted to ask you that, for a change to happen in the society, बदलाव की जब हम बात करते हैं, so it comes from the society. So are we the people not responsible to make implementation on ground a reality? Why we always hold bureaucracy responsible? If yes, kindly advise the path, for a common man like me.
Yes, definitely we are the equal stakeholders in the policy making decisions, because there are 2 important coordinates in the society: legal coordinate and social coordinate. And we have to create an amalgamation between the two. Thereafter, we would be able to receive the most beautiful, result. So in my individual capacity, am I a man of change? Suppose I narrate and I give you a narrative. 3 or 4 days back, some people in a group visited my restaurant. And nowadays Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is going on. Even the survey is going on. And they were coming from a mosque. And they wanted to, and they were willing to educate me that I should visit on daily basis 5 times in a day to mosque to offer prayers. But I am having my own limitations, and there are certain important alternatives as well. So I put a question to them. They are hailing from an organization called Tablighi Jamaat. I mean, they are, giving invitations for namaz or for offering prayers. So I simply put one question to them, that you have started your, what you have seen. Prime Minister Modi is not going to clean every mohalla or every street. You will not find any kind of any gurdwara or other, monasteries. But in case of mosque or Muslim, streets and Muslim mohallas, when you witness any sort of dirt or any filth or anything, any sort of, quagmire, you simply perceive that the Muslims locality simply asked him that you are emphasizing only that I should visit, mosque and offer namaz. Why you are not, concentrating on Islamic teachings on cleanliness. If you are really interested to propagate Islam, or offering some kind of a religious teachings, then why you are not taking stock of one of the most important teaching of Islam, and that is considered to be the half of the Islam, and that is cleanliness. So as a stakeholder, as a very sensitive person, we should be what we call attend social responsibilities. Even the corporate world is also having social responsibility concept. So even international institutions, role of the civil society. Civil society is also suffering from some kind of inadequacy in terms of definition. So even an individual, advocates, other stakeholders, army officers, all constitute a civil society. But an individual is also the part of the civil society. An individual, see the importance. It is a development in the later half of the 20th century that an individual is being regarded as a subject of law. Not only of a domestic law, but of what we call of international law. So individual rights are equally important, as well as the individual duties. And for in terms of the Eastern jurisprudence, or Eastern what we call understanding, we should not be concerned about our rights. Rather, Eastern jurisprudence or orientation of what we call of legal understanding is that all of us are supposed to perform our duties, national duties, social duties, family duties. So it's a duty-oriented orientation of education in our part of the world. It is the liberalism or individualism. Though individualism is also there in Islam, but individualism has always been a mug of coffee for the Western what we call scholarship. So we have to find out some kind. And this is what I think, that we should perform our duties very religiously in our individual capacity. Thank you.
And now we honor our participants.
I would like to thank all the panelists for this interesting discussion. And now we will break for lunch. The next session is rather different testimonies. We have the African students